Today we are going to see about monohybrid cross. So monohybrid cross means what? Mono means single, hybrid that is single variety, that is single character going to be cross. So you can see the definition. Monohybrid inheritance is the inheritance of a single character. So here we are going to take the plant height. The single character is plant height. So plant height, tall and dwarf. So tall is homozygous, capital T is dominant over dwarf, small t, that is recessive character. And you must know about the genotype. Genotype means genetic constitution of an individual, that is genetically how many genes are governing a character, that is the genes. Capital T, small t, that type is called genotype. And phenotype is the observable characters of an organism, that is physically we are seeing that is known as observable characteristics of an organism. The genetical cross can be easily explained with the help of a diagram called Punnett square board. And this Punnett square board is named after the British genetist Reginald C. Punnett, and it gives the graphical representation of the probability of possible genotypes. That is, it gives the graphical representation how many genotypes will come for the one single parent or two parents, that is single trait or two traits, like that how many characters are taken from the parent plant. That possibilities we can easily to know from this genetic cross. And the laws of dominant and law of segregation give the suitable explanation for Mendelian monohybrid cross. So before we going to see the monohybrid in detail, we will see the reciprocal cross. Reciprocal, have you heard this word in maths? The reciprocal cross takes place in the fraction. Okay, you can that is in a decimal condition you will take a reciprocal cross, that you won't forget and think so. So all are tall plants in an F1. Okay, that can be reciprocal, that is tall into dwarf. The tall may be from the male parent is crossed with the dwarf female parent, or the female tall is crossed with dwarf male. So this can be done vice versa. These matings can be done in both the ways. They can be done in both the ways. That is called reciprocal cross. So the ratio, that is ratio, nothing but the result of reciprocal cross is same. Y means the sex is not dependent here. It is the trait only we going to see. The Mendel's test cross or monohybrid cross, anything, it deals with the, it doesn't deals with the sex dependent. It deals with the character or trait dependent. Monohybrid cross. So first what he take means, that is Mendel take that is the dominant into recessive. Plant height he take. According to him, capital T is the homozygous condition dominant, and small t is the recessive, homozygous recessive dwarf. Okay, the law of dominant, how it comes here, see. So while the gamete segregation, you get capital T here, that is here capital T and here small t. So both are crossed. In F1 generation you get capital T, small t, but the F1 character, that is F1 phenotype, it is tall. Only the gene it possesses one capital D in the T and one small t, that is in heterozygous condition, but the character here it is coming out as tall. The phenotypically you can see it is a tall because the capital T is dominant over small t. So according to the law of dominance, the dominant character will suppress the recessive character. So one is come now. Come. And in F2, they going to, that is in F1 generation, selfing is going to take place. And in F2, you get the ratio, that is phenotypic ratio and genotypic ratio, that is phenotypic ratio is 3 tall is to 1 and genotypic ratio is 1 is to 2 is to 1. 1 capital T is to 2 capital T small t is to 1 small t, like that. So you can see this a clear explanation that the before slide is an that is book, from your book I had taken, but you will get a clear idea here. The two gametes, that is the two male, and that is tall is crossed with recessive parent dwarf, and the gametes are segregated, that is here the gametes are segregated, tall and dwarf gametes are segregated. So that means the gametes, the purity of gametes is segregating from the parent plant. That resembles the law of segregation. And next, after gamete segregation, these gametes are fused to form capital T small t, that is heterozygous tall. So here heterozygous tall means capital T small t, that is dominant T is suppressing the recessive character. So here you can see the law of dominance. Okay. So now after selfing you get, that is after selfing here, that is you are putting a checkerboard, that in this side it is male, on the one side it is male and one side it is female. Here you are putting capital T small t this side, and here the above capital T small t, and you are putting it as capital T is tall, capital T, this capital T and this capital T, this capital T and this small t as capital T small t, and this capital T and small t as capital T small t, small t, that is 3 is to 1, that is the ratio is 3 tall is to 1 dwarf. Okay, that is the phenotypically you are seeing 3 tall is to 1 ratio, and genotypically how many capital T homozygous tall? 1. Okay, 1. And how many capital T small t heterozygous tall? 2. And how many small t homozygous recessive? 1. So now based on this monohybrid that is crosses results, Mendel's analytical and emerphical approach is seen. So Mendel had took a that is two contrasting characters. Contrasting characters means tall is to dwarf. Okay. So in F1, what happened in F1? Here you can see in F1 which character is suppressed? The dwarf character is suppressed. Only the tall character is exposed. The tall is dominant and dwarf is recessive. Okay, the recessive character is suppressed. And that is in F1 you are getting heterozygous tall plant, that is capital T small t through the gametes. But in F2 you are getting 3 is to 1. In F2 generation, due to gamete segregation, that is gamete segregation, you getting out of 4, that is here in out of 4, this checkerboard it is out of 4, you are getting 1, that is 1 recessive parent. So out of 4 you are getting 1 recessive parent. So by this here what he is saying is between dominant and recessive is exposed in F2 generation. So this is an analytical approach, and this can be said as quantitative analysis, that is the mathematically he used in the biological experiment. So his meticulous work, that is his meritorious work, that is execute in the, that is the mathematically way he execute in the breeding experiment. And for this he used the characters. The characters during the Mendel's time, that is the genes are called factors. Now we are calling it as genes. Okay. So Mendel has explained the cross, his experiment in a well-versed way, and he is analyzed the way, and he had given some laws also. That is he analyzed and he approached in a emerphical way. So that laws are called emerphical laws. Now we will see the test cross. So test cross is a crossing an individual of unknown genotype with homozygous recessive. Think correctly, that is what means test cross means always the F1 individual or a dominant one is crossed with the recessive character only. It won't cross with dominant or any heterozygous condition, but it always crossed with the homozygous recessive parent only. So the test cross is used to identify whether an individual is homozygous or heterozygous for dominant character. So first condition, that the first condition you're going to see is heterozygous tall plant. That is, this is taken from the F1 generation, that is capital T small t, that is heterozygous, is crossed with what I am saying, homozygous recessive dwarf, small t, okay. And the gametes are segregated as capital T small t here small t. When it is crossed, you get equal number, that is the capital T small t and small t, that is heterozygous tall and homozygous recessive dwarf in ratio 1:1. That is phenotypically and genotypically same ratios are coming here, 1:1. The next cross, if homozygous tall test cross takes place, means that is in F1 capital T is taken and it is crossed with small t. The gametes will be capital T and small t, and now it is crossed. You will get in F1 capital T small t, that means all are tall. So all the individuals are tall here. Now, why the Mendel's pea plants are tall and dwarf? Find out the molecular explanation. That is, there is some reason to become tall or short. Okay. So, we will see the explanation. So, Mendel's gene, here he took is plant height. So, the plant height is controlled by a single gene. So, we will see the reason here. See, the tall plant is controlled by the gene LELE, or that is capital LE or capital LE small le. So, homozygous dominant or heterozygous dominant is controlling, these are the genes controlling the gibberellin precursor molecule. You had studied gibberellin physiological effects last year, which is responsible for the tallness. That is, it is an hormone which, if it is seen in the hormone, it's synthesized, it is responsible for the plant height. Okay. So, gibberellin is a precursor. If this gene is present, it activates GAI, that is active gibberellin. It activates active gibberellin. So, because of this, the plant height is induced in the pea plant. Okay, pea plant, that is LE codes to function the gibberellin enzyme. Okay, and in dwarf plant, small le, that is opposite to the capital LE or capital LE, small le. Okay, small because they are recessive. So, if it is here means it won't code for gibberellin precursor molecule. So, due to this, the gibberellin enzyme are inactive, that is the gibberellin is not produced. So, the gibberellin is not produced means there is no coding for the enzyme. So, due to this, the plant height in plant, that is in pea plant, is governed by these gibberellin producing genes, capital LE, and not produced gibberellin is small le. Now we are going to see the back cross. So, test cross with a recessive parent, but back cross means the F1 gen hybrid is crossed with a dominant or recessive parent. So, dominant parent or recessive parent, it is called back cross. So, we go back cross. We are going to see here the progenies won't be, that is, if it is a dominant parent or a recessive parent, the F1 is crossed, there won't be no recessive progenies, that is, no recessive offspring. So the F1 hybrid is crossed with recessive parent, the phenotypic will be in equal proportion as specified in test cross, that is homozygous tall test cross, all are tall, like that only here also it will appear. So the recessive back cross helps to identify the heterozygous hybrid. This is one of the significant of back cross. Now we are going to see dihybrid cross as monohybrid. Monohybrid is a single character we are taking. Here in this we are going to take two different characters. And this dihybrid cross explains the law of independent assortment. When two pairs of traits are combined in an hybrid, segregation of one pair of character is independent to the other pair, that is other pair of characters, that is two pairs are combined. Okay, hybrid is produced, but in next generation the other pair of characters, that is one of the other pair of the character, will be independently exposed. That is called law of independent assortment. So now you can see what Mendel took is, he took yellow colored, that is yellow colored round seed, that is capital Y, small r, into wrinkled green seed. Wrinkled means that is round is full round. Wrinkled means somewhat shrunken like structure. It is governed by gene small y, small r, small r. From this the gametes have to segregate. Here the gamete is capital Y, capital R, and here it is small y, small r. So both are fused, and in F1 generation you are getting a heterozygous condition, capital Y, small y, capital R, small r. So capital Y is responsible for yellow color and capital R is responsible for round color, and small y is green color, and small y is green color and R is for wrinkled shaped seed. So, but these recessive character are suppressed because of the dominant character. So, here we are getting an heterozygous condition, capital Y, capital R, small r, and if they are self-crossed. In F2 generation, we will be getting a checkerboard like this. This is the checkerboard, that is it is made up of 16, that is you can count and see in 16, and while crossing in F2 generation we will get 9 yellow round, that is capital Y, capital R, that is 9 yellow round is there, and it may be like this in this direction. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So it may be like this, you can count it. Okay, I can't able to count here because it is a problem here to count it, and you can count it and see 9 yellow round. Okay, 9 yellow round is to 3 green round, is to 3 yellow wrinkled, is to 1 green wrinkle. So this is the phenotypic ratio of dihybrid cross. You are getting, if you count 9:3:3:1, you can get 16. Okay, 16. Totally here 16 boxes are here, and you can count means you will get, and this is the phenotypic ratio, that is in F1 generation you are getting all dominant characters, and in F2, that is the independently they are assorting. So when the capital Y is absent, the green color is exposing. When the capital R is absent, you are getting wrinkled color, and totally the dominant characters are absent, you are getting green wrinkled color. So it is independently, the character is independently assorted here. And how the characters, that is the green wrinkled seed and round piece are coming out, that is capital R, small r, same way as you see in the plant height. Here the capital R is the dominant allele. It is responsible for producing starch branching enzyme 1. So it activates the starch branching enzyme, that is linear unbranched starch amylose, which is converted to this amylose is converted into branched amylopectin. So for this is activated by the capital R. Due to this, the peas, that is the seeds, are round in shape. Okay, and same way the recessive allele RR doesn't code to activate the enzyme SBE. So it inactivates the enzyme SBE, that is starch branching enzyme. So linear unbranched starch amylose is converted to linear unbranched amylose is not converted, that is in capital RR the starch amylase enzyme, that is unbranched starch amylase enzyme, is converted to branched starch amylase enzyme. So the P's are round. But in this recessive condition, the linear unbranched starch amylase is not converted to linear unbranched starch amylase and wrinkled seeds are produced. And you can see the dihybrid test cross. Dihybrid means the F1 condition, that is here the F1 heterozygous yellow round plant is crossed with green wrinkled that is homozygous recessive condition, it is crossed. So what happened in F1, you will get, that is by gamete, that is in F1 that is in F1 generation, you will get capital Y, small y, capital R, small r, and it is selfed. One side you are getting capital these type of gametes, and one side you are getting this type. When you cross, you see in the you analyze in the that is checkerboard, you get one yellow round is 2. One yellow round is 2. Round green is 2. Wrinkled yellow is 2. Wrinkled green, that is 25%, all in equal percentage, that is 1:1:1 ratio appears here. Same as the monohybrid test cross with the recessive parent, that is in an heterozygous condition, when it is crossed with the recessive parent, you get 1:1 ratio. The same way here also you are getting 1:1:1 ratio. Trihybrid cross. In monohybrid, single character. In dihybrid, 2 characters. Here you are going to take 3 characters. So the 3 characters will help in the multiple line traits of inheritance. So law of segregation and independent assortment is applicable. So the homozygous parent are involved. Okay. So here how many gametes will produce? 8 gametes and 64 different zygotes are produced. And they are operating, the combination of single pair crosses are producing contrasting trihybrid crosses, which we will see here. So tall, that is height of the plant, color of the seed, shape of the seed you take. So tall into yellow, round into dwarf, green wrinkled is taken, and you cross in F1 generation you are getting tall yellow round, but in F2 generation you get 27:9:9:3:3:3:1 ratio. And extinction of Mendelian genetics. As we see the monohybrid, dihybrid and trihybrid crosses, there are some of the expansion, that is exemptions to these crosses, other than crosses which doesn't come as the Mendelian pattern, 9:3:3:1 and 1:2:1, 2:1 or 3:1, like that we doesn't get. So that type of inheritance is known as extension of Mendelian genetics. So here they going to, that is the phenotypic is going to give some of the different results here. So they are going to interact with the genes. So gene interaction. A single phenotype is controlled by more than one set of genes, each of which has two or more alleles. So the single phenotype is controlled by one or more genes. So two or more alleles can be controlled. That is called gene interaction. Many characteristics of the organism, including the structural, chemical, which constitute the phenotype, are the results of interaction between the. So the many genes are going to involve here. So for that they can be structural, phenotypical, chemical, and they can be involved to produce the gene interaction. So the gene interaction can be of two types: intralocus interactions or allelic interaction, interlocus interaction or non-allelic interaction. First we will see about the intralocus interaction or allelic interaction. Here you are going to see the dominant relationship, that is complete dominance, incomplete dominance, codominance, and lethal genes, dominant lethal, recessive lethal, that is conditional lethal, sex linked lethal, balanced lethal, and multiple alleles. These are from the, that is intra locus interaction or allelic interaction. And interlocus interaction, non-allelic interactions, that is epistatic or non-epistatic interaction, additive or polygenic interactions. Okay, and these interactions these interactions are based on the, that is the concept of the factor hypothesis or Batson factor hypothesis. He had given these that is allelic interaction and non-allelic interactions, and which will be going to see in the video. In the next video you will be see. Thank you for watching the video. If you like the video, like, share and subscribe to the Science Easy Tech channel. If you have any doubts, post your doubts in the comment box. I will clarify you. So subscribe to Science Easy Tech channel.